What's going to happen? Joining us from San Francisco to help us make sense of it all, Director of Content Management and Head of Fan Relations for Lucasfilm, it's Steve Sansweet. How are you, Steve?
Hi, Kevin. Just fine. Very excited about this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, this week at the office must be pretty quiet for you guys. Not a whole lot going on, right?
Yeah, right.
I know we've got a brand new Star Wars film opening in theaters tomorrow, but this film, was it always intended to be seen on the big screen?
No, actually, it started out as an animated series, as it's going to continue, but George Lucas saw some of the first animation come back, and of course they needed a theater to show it, so they projected it on the big screen because it's high definition, the sound is fantastic. He looked at it and said, you know what, we've got to show this theatrically for the fans. It's just too cool to keep just for TV.
Right, but is this the first episode of the show somehow dragged out to an hour and a half or so, or is this 3 episodes? Or?
Well, they actually took several of the initial stories, the first story arc, but it's completely recut. I mean, so there are actually scenes on the cutting room floor, and lots of new animation and story were added to really make it a feature film. So this is indeed a feature film.
What was the timeline between George saying this needs to be in theaters and it actually hitting screens? Because I imagine there were some people scrambling to make this happen.
Would you believe a week and a half? No, you wouldn't believe that. No, it was about, we first heard that about 9 months ago. So people have been scrambling because they've also been working on 22 episodes for this season, and they're starting on episodes for next season already. Wow.
Well, we've seen lots of Anakin and lots of Obi-Wan, but do we get other recognizable characters in this film?
Oh, yeah, there's lots of them. There's Yoda plays a prominent role, Mace Windu is there, and then some of the bad guys like Count Dooku. And then Jabba the Hutt is a central character in this one, and whether he's a good guy or a bad guy is very much up in the air.
Right. I love that it's going to answer a lot of questions. There was, that 3-year gap or so in between films. We want to know what happens. And now I'm curious, how does Clone Wars actually serve to launch this upcoming animated series that you're talking about?
Episode... Yep. Sorry.
No, please, Steve, go ahead.
Episode 2 of Star Wars really sort of ended with the Clone Wars beginning, and Episode 3 began with the Clone Wars ending. And so here we have a movie that sets up what really happened in this 3-year period, and not just with the Jedi and not just Anakin and Obi-Wan, but what was happening in other quarters of the galaxy with all of our characters, especially some of our new characters like Ahsoka, who is Anakin's Padawan learner. We didn't know before that he had a Padawan. And then there's some new villains like Asajj Ventress, who is cool and sensuous and deadly.
Now, the show's not going to always revolve around these same characters, though, right? Are you going to be introducing some new people into the story?
One of the great things about the show is that it enables us to explore the clones and see how different they are, and the fact that they have personalities. So, some of the shows will be story arcs and they'll be about battles. Some will be mysteries. Some will be political intrigue. Padme is back. Amidala. We see all of these characters that we've known, but we see them in a different light, and we see a lot of new characters and a lot of new locations.
Well, Steve, I know we're all psyched for the movie and the animated series, but while I have you here, I have to ask about the latest on the live action. I mean, when is this? When are we going to see this? What's going on with that?
Well, they have Rick McCallum, the producer, and George Lucas have gotten together a band of writers. Some of the initial scripts have been turned in. I haven't seen any of them, but I understand from what I hear they are just really good. So we can look for the live-action series sometime around 2011 or 2012. So 3-4 years away, and
plenty of time to clear off the old TiVo and make some room on the hard drive.
Yeah, absolutely, because that'll be between episodes 3 and 4. But until then, this weekend, a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun. It's really a family film. It's full of adventure. It's fun, and we're looking forward to it.
Awesome, Steve. I can't thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and thanks for keeping us in the loop.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.